Excited to play. A bye week was good for us. It's time to get back out on the field, and the kids have done a nice job preparing, and we're excited to play Bowling Green, who is a very formidable opponent for us. So we're in a good spot. Looking forward to it.
Gary, do you have a better idea how close Taiwan is, and also Strauss, to being in a position where they can get back on the field?
To my knowledge, Strauss is still, I don't know, 10 days to 2 weeks probably. Okay. Taiwan is an extended period of time, weeks, depending on how he heals. There's a lot of things that got to go on.
Okay. When you guys saw Tyndall in camp, how long did it take you before you thought, okay, this is a guy who can help us this year as maybe a third or fourth corner?
Well, we thought athletically he truly could help us as a freshman, just the way he ran. I think he played at a pretty high level in high school, which helped him. The question was, as he went through camp, how is he going to handle it mentally? Mm-hmm. Physically, he's there. Mentally, I think he's done a nice job of handling the camp, summertime, the transition to school, and he'll continue to play more. So it's, you learn as you go through camp, and then you're hopeful, and then you continue through game prep, and he's held in there mentally very well to this point.
How much better do you feel on Thursday about this defense's ability to handle their up-tempo offense better than maybe you felt Monday, that they've had some time to just the fact that they've had some time to adjust?
Yeah, it's nice to have time. I kind of look at it like you feel when you're going to play the option. Back in the day when you used to get ready to play Air Force, you kind of felt like you had a good plan, and you never knew until the first drive. And it's so important in games like this to feel the tempo and the pace and understand, because you can't duplicate it. But I feel good about it. We've played pretty well against some pace teams before, and we'll have to handle the pace plays this week mentally through the communication, and we'll also have to understand that we're going to have to handle them physically.
Want the red helmets this week?
Red helmets, yep. Kids wanted to wear red helmets, so we brought them out.
What'd you guys do to try to maybe improve the performance of the running game during the bye week?
A lot of good, hard physical practice. I think we had more crossover this week, especially with good on good, ones on ones, ones on twos for sometimes up to 20 minutes of practice. I think that's good for this team. They handle it well. They practice well against each other, and it's good for them to see the physical nature of the travel team against the travel team, I guess, if you will. Other than that, we worked extremely hard and worked on getting better at our core plays.
Because you mentioned that first drive is so important, would it bother you at all if you guys had to take the ball first and maybe took some time off the clock, put some points on the board, put them in a hole?
It's a thought. If it was a coin flip was here right now and we won, we would defer, but we'll kind of see how we move forward. It's 6 of one, half dozen the other, really. Do you get it first or do you get it in the second half?
Okay. You've been on the other side. I think it was 11 when you were at Auburn. We played at Auburn, kind of like the underdog going into that stadium, maybe the venue where no one expected you would win except you. What is it being coaching on both sides of that?
Well, it's no different than the way you prepare. I'm sure Bowling Green's preparing to come in and expect to win. We got to remember this team won a championship a year ago, and 11-2, if I'm not mistaken, is where they were a year ago, and played a couple teams very, very tough last year and almost won, walking into big time environments, and that's what they're walking into. So we look at it as a great opportunity to play at home. They look at it as a great opportunity to come to Wisconsin and have their one chance in their life to play in the stadium. So I'm sure it's special for them just as well as it is for us.
Gary, do you use lessons from outside with your kids at all? Like specifically NFL, everything with domestic violence that's going on, what Jameis Winston did down in Florida State. I mean, do you pull your guys aside at any point and say, use it as kind of a lesson?
Yeah, we will never point fingers, if you will, but if there's an opportunity to learn from others in good, and in bad, we definitely take that opportunity. And I prefer to do that in a team setting when I've given the opportunity. And I emphasize a lot of times a lot of good things that are going on out there in the world. And obviously, if there's kids that make mistakes, we want to try to educate our kids, and the best way to educate is through examples. So yes.
What are the expectations for the run game this week after the uncharacteristic performance against Western Illinois?
Well, we expect to get our run game back on track. We expect to be a physical run team, and that's where we sit with it. We're not putting any numbers on it or where we want to go. We want to run an effective offense, an effective defense, and effective special teams. But is it a mindset and a want to for all of us involved in this football program to run the ball better than we did a couple weeks ago? Yes.
Do you know at this point if you did need to go to a third guy carrying the ball, who that would be, how you'd handle that?
I would probably say at this moment Austin, and move one of the tight ends into a fullback spot, or do our 12, two tight end run game.
He basically played tailback in
Yes.
the spring game.
Yep.
Is he just a solid guy between the tackles who you know is going to pick up some yards for you if the blocking's there?
Absolutely. Austin has proved himself throughout spring, where he took a bunch of reps to be a very adequate young man to put the ball in his hands and run this offense. I don't think you'd put it out there and have him run a bunch of tosses, but you're getting between the tackles and doing some things. He's a physical, powerful kid. We good?
Thanks, Gary.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks.
Have a great weekend.
You too.